Hello, welcome to Bank Holiday Monday. It's rained all day, it's late in the afternoon, so I'm going to show you what I bought on Sunday. There was no car boots for me today, unfortunately. So anyway, I went to 3, not the usual 2 on Sunday, because somebody put me onto a bank holiday only Sunday car boot. They have it where Sainsbury's is shut, so they use the car park, but only on bank holidays. So 3 car boots. There's so much stuff that I'm just going to show you the first car boot and then reset, second car boot and reset, because there isn't that much space anymore. That poker set's right next to my feet, and I can't walk any further left. Okay, so first things first, it's tech heavy today, so there is a couple of things, maybe 3, 4 items that aren't tech. I'll get through a couple of them right now because they were virtually the first things I picked up. So first stall I went to at North Cave, there was about 45, 50 cars. Quite busy. It's Easter weekend though. You'd expect it to be busy, but not quite as busy because some of the people would have gone to this other one. 2 sets of bedding, double duvet, quite nice design. Might be better off to show you that way, like there. £3 each. I asked politely whether I could have them both for £5 and she said I could. So that was nice. I'm not sure what the resale value is, but I might keep one for myself and sell the other. The other non-tech is this one. Lego City. There we go. I picked it up and I said to him, how much is the Lego? And there was 2 bits. There was this and there was the a Lego box, and I opened it and it had a lot of not the Technics Kinects, but it also had a lot of Lego wheels in it. So I said, how much are they? And he said £6. And I'm like, oh, that's not bad at all. I'm thinking, you know, this is worth a £5. And the wheels. So I said, how much are the wheels on their own, and how much is this box on its own? He says, I want a £5 for the wheels and £1 for this one. £1. It's a bit battered, but I've had a delve about, and all the major pieces are there. I don't know whether it's complete. I might have to make it up. I might not. Yeah, not bad. I might just count the pieces. It might be faster for me to count the pieces than to try and make it up. I don't know. That's definitely there. The boat and all the figures. And these, what do they call them? Treadmills, stairways, and the windsurfer. That's all there. The bits in between, I'm not sure about. That roof's definitely there. But for £1, absolutely having that. The wheels are probably worth the £5, but they're a bit more specialist to sort out and check and all that sort of thing, so I decided against that. So that's your non-tech for the next half hour probably. I got a pink bop it, where you pull it and you press it.
Fox Pop, 1-on-1.
There you go. It does work. It didn't when I got it. She said, oh, there's no batteries in it. I said, there is, you know. Would you take £1? And she said, yeah. So that was good. There was batteries in it, but it wasn't running. They were probably just flat. Anyway, I cleared it out. Put some of my own in. No probs. Right, I'm going to go down the list now. Xbox One power supply, but only the end. It doesn't have a kettle plug, and I've got like 6 or 7 of them. So that was £1, and I've checked it on my Xbox and it works fine. Done the duvets. This was the next stall along from the Xbox One. It's a Manhattan Plaza DS1 free satellite, not free view, free satellite. There you go. Now I've already got one of these, and the reason I bought this, he had a load of no-name free sats, and they were all in their boxes, but they all looked as though they'd seen much better days, like they'd been, you know, used up and thrown away. So this one comes with its manual, and it came with a remote that said Manhattan on. So I thought, yeah, great, because I've got one of these exactly the same, but it doesn't have the remote, and you need the remote in order to reset them. And I could reset it and then sell it as no remote but reset, but I can't without a remote. So anyway, when I got it in and I'm checking it all over, can't find the remote nowhere, and I'm like, oh, I've dropped out with a bag or something. Anyway, just before I started this, well, not just before, when I was like rearranging my stuff, I found it. It was in the car under the back seats where it slid in from the boot, and there we go. And at the same time I found a SingStar adapter, so there's a bonus. So that was, did I say that was £1? No, that's a different one. It was £2. Yeah, I've also got another free sat. I can show you that next. So there's this HeHe free sat. It's not the type with the hard drive, it's just an adapter, but it's a free sat. It doesn't have the remote, and it came like all tangled up, but what came with it is, and the lady gave me this for £1 because it didn't have the remote, so I was pretty happy with that. Sorry, it's becoming my catchphrase, that. Didn't want it to. Yeah, so in the back of it was a wire, a cable for plugging into a what do they call it? In power line adapter for a LAN, and that's what that is. You plug it into your socket, and then you have a corresponding one near your LAN. You plug it into the socket there and you plug it back in, so it doesn't need Wi-Fi in order to get around the house. You'd still need all your wiring connected, so it has to be on a loop circuit. Now at my house it's got like 4 loop circuits. I don't know modern houses, are they all the same? Do they all have the same one circuit? I don't know, but mine's got 4, or is it 5? It's got the lighting circuits, the downstairs, and then the outbuildings. So yeah, it's 5. Downstairs and upstairs. Cooker, that's a spare. And then 4 loops, or 5 loops. So that I'm not sure whether it would work on mine. But she also included an HDMI, and a SCART, and a power adapter. So that's not bad for £1 really. This will sell, I've looked it up. It's about 10 or 12 quid's worth. Same stall. She was struggling with change and I didn't have any change. I had like a few bits of coin. So I bought these and I just give her 40p because that's all I had in my silver. The reason I had 40p is because I just bought 6 DVDs, all horror. They're probably for me, but they'll make a nice horror bundle up at some point and I'll just sell them for like 2 or 3 quid once I've watched them. I've done that in the past with like horrors, and I've done it with like TV bundles and stuff, and it's alright, it's not too bad. They're not moving as fast as they used to, DVDs, but when you can get them for 10p each, it's not bad. Green PS1 card, yeah, I've done that. That was 20p. SCART adapter was 20p. Logitech this thing. Nice zip up thing with a power supply, and it's an iPod dock. This is an Anywhere 2 iPod dock because it's got a battery in the back you can charge up. Well, I've had a go with charging it, and you can't charge this one. It's meant to charge up, and the battery replacements are about 8 or 10 quid. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to sell the power supply instead. The whole thing cost me £2. I do have another Logitech, very similar to this. It's got fabric over the front, and it doesn't have the battery in, and I think that cost me like £3.50. It's just a slight bit bigger than this, but I've never listed it actually because it didn't have a power supply. I'm not sure whether this one would work it. I bought a camera. It's a Ricoh FF9, and it's a film camera. You get your film and you put it in the back, 35mm. One thing I did notice just half an hour ago is it's got no battery power, and it's a really weird little battery, this. It's got the terminals just at one end and they're sort of indented, so it's going to be hard to test it, but I know it's not working. I carry all sorts of different batteries, and I do have these like twin batteries like this, but they have connectors at the side. They're a bit longer and a bit fatter. I do not have this one, so I may have to buy one. But luckily these are selling for about 30 quid. So if it is working, it'll be well worth buying the battery to test it out. I can't test it for film. I can't film test it until I've got a battery, obviously, and then it might not work, but it's worth risking the battery for 30 odd quid. That cost £1. Panasonic DVD player. This is nice. This is from the same guy as the Lego. Actually, the Lego was on top of it. Panasonic SA PT170. It's home cinema surround sound. So you've got connectors there for up to 6 speakers, 5.1. You've got a centre, subwoofer, a centre, 2 fronts and 2 backs. You've also got auxiliary input, HDMI AV out, HDMI AV, I might add. And you've got your SCART, then you've got power in. So yeah, good stuff. I'm not sure whether this is HD or not. Does it say? It says advanced progressive scan, so it could well be. It was £2.50 with a remote. There we go. The remote doesn't have a back on, but guess what I've got loads of? Remotes with backs. This is an old Samsung, so I will have an old Samsung back for it. And even if I don't, I'll just use a bit of cardboard and tape. Not a big deal, that. It's a bit scratched up, but really, I mean, who cares? For £2.50. One thing I do know about that is it's on the list of the ones that I can convert with the new remote that I bought, the Panasonic remote. Very similar to the Sony remote that I bought. Same company, does the same job. And that can convert with it to multi-region. So I'll be doing that. That's assuming it plays properly. I haven't tested it yet. And then there was another one. Ah, here it is. I had my book on top of it. Let me just catch the power lead. Here we go. And this is a Samsung? Yeah, this is a Samsung. This is a 5.1 surround as well. Progressive scan component. Audio in there. normal aerial in. So, no, that's the radio, sorry, it's just a player. This is just a player. So, yeah, nice. Don't have a remote for this. Saw this on the stall at the woman who sold me the free set for £1. And I said, how much is this? And she says, it doesn't have a remote either. I'll take £1. Yeah, fine. I'll have that for £1 every day of the week. God, that's big. It's not very heavy. It's just a big box. So there's a lot of empty space inside that. Whereas the Panasonic, it's got some chunky weight. Right, that is North Cave. Coming up now is Resell. And then Hull. A whole new page. Like a whole new world worth of tech. Right, I'll be back in a bit. Right, I'm back. I've stripped it all off from my space, and I've cleared it, and I've just plunked it all down on my space again. So, this is from Resell, and before we go any further, I didn't give you a total of what was on North Cave. I only spent £18.50. So, not too bad at all, really. For what I got there, you've seen what I got. Either of those 5.1 surround sound systems should go for more than that, as they are, whether they work or not. So everything else is free, basically. The Xbox One power supply should sell for about £18. Right, onwards. Resell, they closed the store, so the car park was, and it's a massive car park, available for car booting. The beauty of it is although it's well known, I didn't know about it. There's no traders. It was mostly, no, I would say maybe 2 traders, maybe 3. The vast majority of it, and there was a good 80 cars, was just people clearing their houses out. Great. Exactly what I want. People just getting rid of what's in their loft, what's in their garage, all the stuff that they've just accumulated and just don't want. Brilliant. And a lot of them are very motivated in not taking anything home. So, first thing I bought was this. I saw this on the stall and I said, is that a camera? And she says, it's a video camera. So, I'll show you what I got. It's a JVC GRD23E, and it's all charged up. It is now anyway. It wasn't then. Let's turn it on. There we go. And screen's working, and it plays back. I think it does anyway. It's on play. Anyway, it does play back at some point. One thing I can tell you though is, after looking at it and testing it this afternoon, I mean, let's face it, what else are you going to do when it's raining? It plays back the video. Oh, there's no video in it. I took it out. That's why. It plays back the videos. There's 2 tapes. One's used with recording on. One's brand new. What it doesn't do is film anything. The lens is shot. Not the lens itself, the CCD. They've been pointing it at the sun. It says very clearly, don't point it at the sun. It says, do not point viewfinder towards the sun. It may cause malfunction. Malfunction. That's a nice phrase, isn't it? It means you'll bugger it up. Well, they have, basically. But she said to me, £2. She didn't tell me about that. They don't, do you? So I can sell this spares a repair with the proviso that you're buying it for spares, you can't repair it. There's 2 batteries, one of them's a Jessop's, one of them's genuine. The batteries I think I'll sell separately, and they're going for between £14 and £15 each. The Jessop's might not get that, so maybe £25 for the 2 things. And there's a power supply. These are going quite well on eBay, so my money's definitely safe. In fact, I'm probably looking at 30 quid in parts without selling the main unit. So, you know, not bad really for £2. It's a good start. Yeah, both batteries are charging up. I tested it with the charger, and yeah, not bad at all. BT 660 6600 twin phone. That's this bundle of wires. There's a base there, 2 power supplies, another base, 1 handset, 2 handsets, and that was £4. Quite pleased. That should either fetch for maybe £22, £23 as it stands, or you can sell the handsets. It's modern enough that people still want replacements. Soundbar for a Dell monitor. It sort of connects to specific Dell monitors because it's got a sort of connector bar at the top. It's a nice bar. It's never been used. It's brand new. There's a power supply connector thing there. There's no power supply. I'm not sure whether it plugs into the back of the monitors or whether you have to have a separate one, but it doesn't have one with it. So that was £2. It says £2.99 on it there. They bought it from a charity shop, and then below that it says £20, as though somebody was trying to sell it at the car boot for £20. Yeah, right. I have no idea what the price on that is, but it's got to be worth £2. Yeah, I bought an ink off a lady, and then I looked at the rest of the store and I bought a few other bits and pieces. An ink off her, and I said, how much would this be? And she said like £1.50. I'm like, will you just take £1? She says yes. I've sold this this afternoon. No, this morning actually. I think it was just before lunch for £19.99. So that's paid for half of what I bought at HeHe. Not quite after fees. Before fees, it's half of it. So that's not too bad. Right, also on her stall she had this PS2. Quite clean looking, with all the wires, silver controller and a black controller. I took the time to unravel them to make sure that a lot of people when there's damage when it's coming out of the controller, there's a tip for you, especially at car boots. If there's any damage on them, they wrap the wires around them tight so you can't see the damage. Plus, if you do that, you can't see whether the thumb works. So if you're buying these, always unwrap them, and then you can play with the little buttons, because the thumbsticks go left, right, up, down, round and round, but they also press in. Can you hear that? Each one of these has got a little button inside. If you're you know, I mean, if you're a gamer, you know most of these controllers have a little button inside the thumbstick as well. You can press it in. Well, there you are. I've checked all those and they're working fine. So she was adamantly not going to take less than 20, but when she was clear that I really wanted it and that I was serious, not just asking the price, you know, she did come down a bit. She came down to, I think she came down to 18, and then I bought this off. Well, I was going to buy this off her, Now TV, but I couldn't pay what she wanted for that. She wanted 6 on this. And then I said to her, look, I'll buy both of them, but it's got to be 20 quid maximum. And then she was really adamant she was going to take 22. So I just walked off. And I just turned around as I was about 10 yards away and I said, look, I'll give you 20 quid. And it's 20 quid right now. And she took it. So that was nice. This is a white one. Sometimes you've got to stick to your guns. Because that extra £2 is £2 in my pocket and it's £2 to buy something else. Which came in handy later on. Because I did spend everything I had this yesterday. I got Evil Dead. This isn't as popular as it used to be. As a box set, it's a bit scuffed as well. It says £3 on it. I got it for 2. But I was chatting to the bloke who sold me it. He had a lot of that Trackmaster track and Thomas the Tank Engine trains, and I mean they were a big tub full, loads of them, maybe 50-60 of them. And I'm like, what sort of price can you do me as a deal? And he's like, well, I was doing them for what was it, 2 for a fiver? 2 for a fiver. Oh no, it's 3 quid each, 2 for a fiver. And I'm like, it's 100, 60 maybe, 100, I don't know. And I'm like, I can't do that. Can you do them like £1 a piece? And he's like, no. He says, what I'll do is, I'll say, this lot, plus all the track, 50 quid. Because there was like quite a lot of track. And I'm like, I was tempted because of the amount of trains, but then I remembered I've got a load of track at home and some trains in there, and I haven't processed them yet, and it's just a lot of processing. Without a huge amount back, it's a very slow process selling every single train. So reluctantly I said, look, if you give me, if you do it for 20 quid, I'll take it. But he wouldn't do it. So as I said, I bought that off him, and he was, I'm not selling them for me, I'm selling them for my grandchildren. They're theirs and they want some money back for them. And I'm like, fair enough, mate, fair enough. Anyway, I did see on the floor at the other end of the stall some Skylanders. So I said to him, how much are your Skylanders? Because he had a bag full in one of those Skylanders Spyro bags, because the bags are like 9 or 10 quid. And I had a scout round him and he's like, there, 2 for a fiver. Oh! So I'm like, I can't do it. I'm not going to go through them individually and look for them and take. There was enough that it would be half an hour's worth of looking things up and working out. And I knew that a lot of them were just like Skylanders Giants and the ones from Spyro's Adventures. And they're not valuable. None of them from that. There might be maybe 2 from that whole set. But I did notice some portals, that's the word. I noticed some portals in a bag, and I said, what about in this bag? And he's like, after all this sort of stuff going on about like 2 for £5, he said, oh, you can have everything in the bag for 3 quid. And I'm like, are you right? He's like, you just told me that it was going to be £5 for two of these little figures. Anyway, this is what I got for 3 quid. First thing is this. It's a Skylanders Giants collection board, wall hanging plaque bag. It's padded, and then there's a sort of zip up sort of tray slash bag that you can fold it up and take it away with you, or you can keep it on the wall. And it's got hanging straps. So that was part of the £3 bag. I think I get a tenner for that. Nothing huge, but you know. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 portals, 5 portals. That's the 3DS one. That's probably worth as much as all the others put together. Spyro's Adventure, which is, it's got the manual, it's got the disc, in good nick. A load of these cards, they're the cards for all the figures, so you can see how many figures there were. And a map poster, not map, character poster. I've had these before and sold and given them to the people who bought the figures off. And then I realised afterwards these are quite valuable. There you go. And on the other side it's double-sided. Trap Team. So yeah, that's like 6, 7, 8 maybe. I don't know exactly. But it's not been put. It's never been put up. It's in good nick. And of course, it's a large letter, so that's nice. And that's it. Yeah. So that lot cost £3. I suppose. See, it is tech, that, isn't it? I mean, I didn't get the actual figures, but all these things, they're worth something. Nothing huge. In order to use those figures, you've got to have one of those. So I thought it was a decent buy for £3. Can't lose money on it. And after that, I got this. You know I like a camera. Well, this is a really nice, it's got a few scratches here and there. It's a 10 megapixel Fujifilm, fine pics, AV, and it runs on AA batteries, so it was easy to check, and it's all working lovely, as you can see. And it is working properly, this one. Not like the other one that was working lovely until you tried to look through the lens. And it also has a memory card, 8 gigabytes, and that was £1. I've put my own batteries in, the batteries were flat. So yeah, at least 15 quid's worth there, maybe more. Evil Dead, I've done that one. Yeah, one more thing at Resell. Oh, you know I like these. A box with wires in. I said to the woman, how much is your box of wires? And she's like, oh, I was going to sell them individually. So I offered her a couple of quid for the lot. And she's like, oh no, they're like at least £1 each. And I'm like, well, I normally pay 50p each for like power supplies, because that's what it mostly is. And I don't bother looking through them, I'll just give you a price. And she's like, oh, in that case, like £4.50. Anyway, we got talking about it, and we agreed on £2.50. And the only reason I even went for this, because like there's Motorola phone power supplies in there. Well, I suppose it might sell to somebody who's got a Motorola. It's got ADSL adapters, one from Belkin, which is brand new, but I mean, let's face it, it's an ADSL adapter. Nobody's going to use that anymore. This is nice, an HTC power supply with a nice rubberized micro USB power. There's a kettle plug. That'll go on the Xbox One adapter. The only reason I bought it was this one. I saw this and I thought this might fit on that camera that I just bought, and actually it's the exact same model of the power supply for the JVC camera. So yeah, and I've tested it on the camera and it works, which is nice. So I would have paid £2, £3 for that one on its own, but you know, that's it's either Olympus or something like that, maybe Fine Pix data cable. There's a 15 volt 1 amp with a barrel jack on, which could turn out quite useful. And what else? LAN cable, that's in the bin. This would have been nice if it wasn't all scrushed up and painted and twisted. That's a 30 pin USB for plugging your iPod into your laptop or your desktop to put your iTunes tunes on. I'm not sure whether you can use those for charging, but I do know that it's Apple branded. The thing is, it's all twisted up. I looked and saw on eBay they're selling for £2 or £3 now. Fairly new, or even new. That's another phone adapter cable, another phone power supply, and some earphones that I wouldn't even dare touch with my ears, and another AC adapter. So yeah, the adapter for the camcorder pays for the lot, plus another £15 on top. Right, that's the end of HeHe, and before we go to Hull, I've got a little bit of housekeeping. Yeah, remember this from last week? There you go. I've oh, by the way, it looks a bit rough, but this is just double-sided sellotape stuck to it both sides, and this, because it's been, I don't know why, maybe it's something to do with the temperature or something in here, it peeled off. It's been there like 50 years, and the week I buy it, it starts peeling off on its own. I mean, I didn't mess it about or anything. It's just a matter of getting some alcohol, cleaning out that, put some more double-sided sticky tape down both sides and sticking it back on. It's just faux leather, bit of faux leather tape, stick it both down, roll it on nice and tight, bottom end of a screwdriver or something, maybe a toothbrush to level it out. That's not what I was going to tell you about it. I got the aerial up, got it working. It's that big adapter. I haven't altered the radio. I haven't gone in and soldered the radio. I've bought an adapter to fit that adapter, and then it's gone in with a cheaper battery. So I'm going to show you, or at least I'm not going to show you, I'm going to show, well, I will if you come back and watch it another time. I'm going to do a little fix on this as soon as the next adapter that I'm using arrives. And there's very little work involved in doing it, and yeah, so that's an upcoming video as soon as that adapter arrives. The one that's in there is only a temporary fix. The one I'm getting, I'll show you, and it'll be easy. At the moment it's got some twisted wires. It's not good enough really. Temporary fix, but upcoming. Right. The one, by the way, the reason I haven't done my sales from last week yet, and my posting stuff out, is because it's a bank holiday. The stuff's going out tomorrow. It hasn't finished selling for the weekend yet, so I thought I'd do a summary of the week's sales from last week and then what's going out tomorrow morning before I wrap it. Normally it would be Monday morning before I wrap it, but obviously it's going to be Tuesday because it's a bank holiday today. Right, all that's beside the point for HeHe. I'm going to show you what I bought in Hull now. If you're enjoying the video up to now, give it a like. And oh, thanks for subscribing, all the new subscribers from last week. It's probably 20 people. So, I hope you're enjoying yourself, and thank you. Yeah, I'll clear all this lot off, and I'll start with Hull. Right, I'm back. I didn't know whether I told you the total for what I bought in HeHe, so I'm going to start with that. Yeah, so in HeHe the total was £37.50. Not a great deal compared with, say, just the first purchase, that JVC. It would have been nice if it had all worked and I would have been able to sell the whole lot for 50 odd quid just for that one item. But such is life. You know, comme ci, comme ça, c'est la vie, que sera, sera. Lots of foreign phrases that mean swings and roundabouts. Don't really care that much. I've got the batteries, I've got the charger. It's money in the bank, really. Yeah, and I've also got a camera that will get me a third of that back at least. So, straight off, I pulled up at Hull. Obviously it was busy, it's always busy there. First thing I saw was this on somebody's stall. Really nice cameras, these. Fujifilm Finepix, small, powerful camera, 8.3 megapixels. So anyway, I started looking at it. One of the things I do like about the Finepix, the Olympus of this age group and the Finepix, is they have XD cards. And if the camera's not working, the XD card will sell for quite a lot of money. So anyway, I pulled it out and it's all neat and tidy. You've got a manual, you've got a memory card slot thing, you've got software disk. And then I pulled out the camera. I didn't pull it all the way out. First thing I saw was a memory card holder. So I shoved it all back in. And I wheedled out the camera without getting any more out. There's actually a cable, AV cable, and a data cable. And I saw this. It didn't have that particular one in. I've taken this one out of the camera because there was one in the camera as well. Runs on AA's. It had a 256 megabyte card in it. They're about 15, 16, maybe 18. I've put it up for 19. The camera on its own is about £25 worth. It's a bit scratched, but it's turning on. There you go. It takes a little while to start up this one, and you can see it's got a picture of me on it. There you go. It focuses. It works. Yeah, nice. As I say, it's got a memory card, which is worth more than I paid for the camera. I said to him, how much do you want? And he said, £5. Didn't argue. Simple as that. I knew it had a memory card. But it also had these. It didn't. I only saw one. I saw one card extra. And I thought, 2 memory cards. I'll buy it. Simple as that. No questions. Anyway, it's got a 1 gigabyte. Get me out the way. Focus it. Will it focus? 1 gigabyte Olympus. And a 2 gigabyte as well. I've sold these before for as much as £30. for the 2 gig and possibly 24 for the 1 gig. So there's about 50 there, 15 there, possibly 25 for that. So £90 worth, split up. Not bad really for a £5. It's for sales like that, but I wouldn't get anywhere near that if I was to have it all bundled together. People would be bidding on it just for the cards, you know. But I think those will all be by it now on the cards. So that's basically what I spent yesterday on that one on its own. I might be able to eke it out to maybe 100, you never know. Then let's get the right one first. Yeah, same stall actually. I think it was anyway. This Samsung BD Blu-ray. It's a BD E5500. It has a LAN, so I think it's one of these ones that will play like iPlayer and YouTube and stuff. Some of them, unless you update the firmware, only play iPlayer and YouTube. Some of them only play Netflix. It varies depending on the model. I'm not sure about this one. Anyway, it's got a remote, and that was £3. So first stall that I stopped at, £8 spent, and basically I've got my money back for the whole day's spending there. Just these 2 items there. Then I went to another stall. It's always another stall and another stall, and picked up this Blu-ray. Quite nice. This started at 8, went down to 5, and yeah, £5 for an LG Blu-ray. This has got a LAN on the back, so that could be internet connected. I don't know. It's quite light. There's not much in it, but it's long, so it's going by HeHe or every when it goes for under 2 kilos. Yeah. Same stall. I got this. I haven't tested it yet. It's a PS2 guitar for Guitar Hero 2, I think. Anyway, it's red octane. There you go. These buttons seem to be working. I can hear the micro switches on this working. You just don't know about the wah-wah. It's a bit rusty there. The wah-wah. They call it wah-wah. They don't call it wah-wah. The pedals are wah-wah. That's something else. Jiffy bar or something. Anyway, it's got a PS2 wired connection. There you go. And that was £4. He said to me, oh, they're selling them for like 20 quid on eBay. I can't give you it for less than £5. And I said, would you take 4? So yeah, that was nice. I think I've got the actual software for that. Guitar Hero. Right there. Guitar Hero 1. There you go. Yep. With the red octane styling. There you go. Did it focus? There you go. Red octane. So that's a bundle. I'll also be able to test it with that software. So that's nice. Easy job. Next I went to the favourite guy I have ever met on a clearance. He clears things out. When you see the green van, people say to him, when you see the green van, you know you're going to get bargains. He just spreads it all out on the floor, you know, in rows. Lots and lots of stuff, and his prices are ridiculous. and I mean ridiculous. So the first one I bought was this. It's a brown phone. It's broken. It actually didn't come like this. It came like that, and they had to fish around in the boxes to find the lid. It's broken anyway, so it really makes no difference. It came like this. So I said to him, "How much did you want?" I mean, it's got wires. It's not converted, but it's got a socket on the end. So it's just a matter of rearranging it and putting a resistor in. And he said 50 pence. So I said, yeah, 50 pence. I'll put that down there because it was on top of stuff I've got to get out later. And at the same place, I saw on the what do they call it? The tail lift on the back of his wagon. He had a hi-fi and it was all muddy. But there was 2 speakers in the centrepiece, and I said, "Oh, how much is that?" And he like, "Oh, it's not a brand, mate. It's just shit. You can have it." I'm like, "Okay, I'll take it." It's in the hall, waiting for me to clean it up. It's, yeah, it's muddy. What can I say? It's just stood next to the front door. Right. The other thing I bought off him was this. It's a universal developing tank for black and white film. You open it up, you load your film onto this reel. In the dark, by the way. It's got a sort of ratchet system that will load it into the dark. You can use a red light, but it's dark. And then you put the lid on, like that. Screw it on. And even if you open the top now, you can't see into it and no light gets into it. So you can then turn the lights on while you're putting your chemicals and mixing your chemicals to develop the black and white film. It's a boon for lomographer people, or used to be photographers who developed their own film, which was a lot cheaper than having it developed by somebody else, especially for black and white photography, because obviously you could get the chemicals, you could get the print films and all that sort of stuff. So that was, with this camera, £1. This is a Sony Cybershot, 7.2 megapixels, quite a nice little camera. I don't know whether it works because it hasn't got a battery, and that's why it was cheap. But it does have a little memory card for 1 gigabyte memory card, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it is from a Sony Mega Card or whatever it's called. Sony Pro Duo. Anyway, that should go for about £6 for the card. The camera will go on the pile. By the way, where is it? That one. The pile did sell, and it sold for £38.90 odd or something. Yeah, £38, but they haven't paid. It's an international sale, and they haven't paid yet, is all I can say. eBay handle invoicing somebody when it's an international sale, and so I can't chivvy them along even. I can't even send them a message saying, "Pay up, it's time to pay." But in a couple of days' time, it'll be time to send a second chance offer out to somebody else. Such is life. But it was such a good price that I'll just relist it if it doesn't sell, if they don't pay. You know, I'll know I'll get some decent money for that. Right, next I got to a stall and there was a guy and he had a lava lamp. And I said, "How much is it?" It was a big, really quite big, Mathmos style, but not Mathmos brand. And it was like the type that goes up in a cone, there's an angle, and then it goes in the middle. It's up on the mantelpiece in the front room, warming up. It's been warming up since this morning, and it hasn't started globuling yet. So I've got a feeling that's a fail. Anyway, £2, so I took it. Because I've had some real good success with lava lamps, but this one's just a bit rough. Bought it anyway. Next thing I bought off him, same guy, wooden chess set. Really nice board this. All the little figures. Handmade. And this is all marquetry again, like the one I bought before. This is probably done in India or somewhere though. It's not as handmade and it's not as nicely done, but the veneer is real thick. So I could smooth it off and sand it and get it nice and, you know, varnish it again. But I'm not going to. I'll sell it as it is. It costs £2. I'll probably get 7 or 8. I don't know. I'm not sure about that. But I fancied getting it because the other one did really well. So we'll see. Same stall. After the wood chest set, I bought a Blu-ray off him. So that wasn't bad. £4 and it's a massive jobby. Another Panasonic 5.1 surround sound home cinema system. And this is another one that I can make region free. There we are, the numbers there. I looked it up. DMP BD30. And yeah, it's just a matter of pointing out that remote, and it's got its own remote. And it's got all the connectors for a 5.1 surround sound system. And a left and right if you don't want the 5.1. And then it's got component video, coaxial and HDMI. No SCART. So I'm assuming it will do HD with it being HDMI, or it might be HD ready 720p for, I don't know. What's it say here? DTS HD, Digital Theatre Sound, HDMI, AVC HD and DivX. Quite nice for £4. Blu-ray, yeah. BT extender set. I said to the guy, how much is it? I expect him to say £2 or £3, and he says, oh, it's new that. I'm like, is it? Yeah, it is. It's just, it's been battered about, but everything inside's all sealed. It's a 2 Wi-Fi line extender. So what happens is the Wi-Fi goes down the inside of the line. Very much like that white one I showed you earlier from Netgear. This is the BT version. You plug one in with a LAN wire that goes into your Wi-Fi adapter, and then you plug the other one somewhere else in the house, and the electricity system takes it and puts it down the phone line, the power line. Anyway, those are going for, oh, well over 20 quid, I think, 22, 24, something like that, I'm not sure for certain. Anyway, it only cost a £5 and it's new in the box. The box is a bit battered, but that won't be a problem. And then I got this bag full of wires again. No, not another bag full of wires. A BT phone. This one's 2200 twin with just the one handset, as usual. I don't get it. They go back on the cradles. Get charged up. Anyway, that was £1, so I can't grumble at that. Probably £12 to £15. Bought this off a guy. He said £1. I said, would you give me 50p? There you go. It's a Brother TZE tape FX231. Black on white. I thought with it being yellow there that it would be black on yellow, but it's not, it's black on white. This is the Brother branded version with the flexible plastic. It's not like sort of thick, it's flexible. That you can put around like wires and things. See there? Get my face out of the way, you'll see that it goes around wires. So it's quite expensive. And when I say quite expensive, I mean like 20 quid. I don't think anybody's going to pay 20 quid for that, but I paid 50p for it. So somebody might pay more than 50p for it. In the region of, I'm thinking maybe 12 to 15 at most. And that's probably going to be delivered. But luckily it's nice and thin, it'll go as a large letter. Right, yeah. My next purchase was some skyboxes. I got 3 3 of these, This is a 890WC, DRX 890WC. I also got a DRX 890R, which is the 3D Anytime, which I've sold recently. And there's a DRX 890WLC, which is the wireless LAN, made in China. So each one of those was, well, the guy started at £5, but, and some people might be put off by that, but it doesn't put me off at all. No. So I told him very straightforwardly that I pay £1 to £2 for those. and then this was on the pile as well, which is a little Sky Q room box. Now I got told off by eBay for selling the Sky Q main boxes, but everybody seems to be selling these room boxes. But the price has come down. I think a couple of years ago I was selling the Q boxes and I was getting like over 100 quid for the main box and about 80 quid for these. And then the price went up for these when you couldn't buy the main boxes anymore. Well, they've come down again. These are about £50, but I'm not going to get that. Oh, by the way, that's nothing to do with it. It's this one with a Sky thing. I don't have the remote for this. I have taken some photos with it plugged into my TV, and all I can show is that it's connected, but it won't connect to my cables, my wireless connection. And it says, yes, would you like to reset it? Well, I don't have the remote to turn it over to yes, I'd like to reset it. It was rattling when I bought it. I've had the bottom off. There's a little like tape thing there you've got to take off, and all these little holes you take off. There's a power heat sink that fits on and spreads the heat onto the lid. Apart from that, this little thing here for the infrared, the plastic that was holding it level was broken, and that was rattling around inside, and somebody pushed that instead of pushing the two buttons next to it. There's a button there you're pushing, there's a button there you're pushing. That's the infrared thing, you don't push it in. Well, they had pushed it in, and it was like sort of teetering on an angle. So I've taken it off, glued it, put it all back together again. It's not as perfect as it was, but it's working. So I'm not going to get anywhere near 50, but I'll sell it as it is, turned on, but with no power supply. Sorry, no remote. So if I get 20 off that, I'll be fine. I paid £10 for the 3 Sky boxes and that one. I've paid £10 for just that one before and made good money by doing so. But that's okay. I should still make 3 times what I got back by splitting out. And probably those other ones are all rough looking, so I'll probably just take the hard drives out of them. Then I got this. Where is it? A set-top box, digital Freeview set-top box from Ferguson. It's all in there with a power cable, remote, a nice box. £3. It's a bit rough around the edges, but it's £3. Maybe 15. I'm not sure. And then I got another Sky box, which I won't bother showing you. It's the same as that, except it's just a slight bit bigger with a slight bit smaller hard drive, because it's a slight bit older, like 2 or 3 years older. Still HD, but bigger, heavier, clunkier, with a smaller hard drive. That is actually bigger than the larger hard drives, if you see what I mean. Because it's just, everything about the form factor is bigger. Such is life. That whole lot came to £47. Yeah. If I sell those 2 memory sticks out of the first camera, that'll cover the £47. No problem at all. Everything else is free. So yeah, I haven't got a total of what I think it's worth, but I might do some maths. I used to do maths on work it out. I might do that in post-production, and then I might do a total, if I bother with it at all. And if I don't, I'll just cut all this bit out. But if I do, it's going to be here now. As I said to you, I'm going to film the other things tomorrow, so this is going to be edited first, and then that'll be out. So that'll be what I sold last week and what's going out tomorrow morning. Fingers crossed it'll be morning. Don't see why it shouldn't be. And that'll be, I'll film tomorrow. It'll be out later in the week, so that'll be part 2. Normally that's part 1, and this is part 2. We've swapped about because of the bank holiday. Such is life. By the way, part 2 of last week's is like, are you all watching it twice? Because it's like 800 already, and I'm used to like sort of 250 to 300 people watching my videos at most. It's great. I'm not grumbling. And of all the people who joined after watching that video, thanks very much for joining. You'll be getting more of it because it's all tech at the moment. I like the other stuff as well, you know, but I see the stuff and I think to myself, that's where my money's best spent at the moment. There's good margins in all of this gear, and as I say, if you pick up the right item, it pays for everything in one go. So I shall get to testing DVD players and skyboxes and free sats and free views and phones, and then later in the week it'll be a mad listing frenzy. Speak to you anon. Bye bye. Oh, don't forget one of these 2 videos. Thanks a lot. Bye.